An investigation by the BBC and New Statesman has revealed the lives of at least 55 babies could potentially have been saved between 2019 and 2023 at the University Hospital's Sussex NHS Trust. In June, the Health Secretary Wes Streeting announced the deaths of 9 babies in Sussex will be examined. This has now been expanded to include 15 families. Katie Fowler and Robert Miller's daughter Abigail died in January 2022. Her life could have been prolonged, according to an inquest. Katie and Robert join us now. Morning.
Good morning.
But before we get on to the findings of the investigation, if you're comfortable, could you describe the circumstances around Abigail's birth?
So Abigail was born on her due date. I went into labour in the early hours that morning. We phoned the maternity unit at the Royal Sussex to let them know, and then we later in the day reported bleeding twice. The advice we were given was to stay at home because it was probably normal. By the evening, I'd become unwell. I was faint. I couldn't breathe properly. My lips had turned blue. So we phoned again and were advised to come in at that point, but there was no rush to get there. By the time I arrived, I was in cardiac arrest. Abigail was born in the reception area of the hospital. We both had to be resuscitated, and I was then put into an induced coma. I was woken up 2 days later to meet my daughter and also to say goodbye to her.
And then after Abigail had passed, I'm sure you had so many questions. Did you feel that the hospital staff were able to answer them?
No, unfortunately, the response we had was, we don't know what the outcome could have been. We had an external investigation into Abigail's death, which found failings in care.
And it was only at that point that we decided to press for an inquest, which was the only way we got the answers that we needed with the external scrutiny.
And when you ask for an inquest and you get these findings and you hear about this investigation from the BBC and the New Statesman, does it help at all? Does it give you any I don't even know what the word is. Does it give you any kind of solace, any kind of peace, knowing that at least these failings have been identified and hopefully will be able to be addressed in the future?
It's a difficult one to answer. It's mixed. There's a lot more accountability that needs to be taken by the trust, and a lot more investigation needs to find out exactly why this happened. You know, it's outrageous that 55 baby deaths could have been prevented in that short space of time, and you know how it wasn't picked up that services were getting worse up to that point needs to be worked out and so that it doesn't happen again.
Wes Streeting promised to set up an independent inquiry to look at this trust. Have you had any update on the progress of that inquiry, Katie?
Unfortunately, it's been pretty slow going. It was announced in June last year. We still don't have a chair in place. Virtually nothing happened on it last year. We don't have terms of reference either. We are working with the Department for Health on selecting a chair. We're very keen that it's led by Donna Ockenden. So we hope that the review will be up and running soon because it really needs to be.
You're going to meet with Baroness Amos later on today, I think, who's the chair of the nationwide inquiry into maternity care more broadly. What issues are you going to raise with her? What are you hoping to talk to her about?
We want to be sure that she fully understands the failing at Sussex specifically. We'll be sharing our experiences, so hopefully she will note the similarities between them. We just want we just want her to acknowledge the harm that's been caused by that trust, hopefully both in the meeting today, but also in her review when it's published in spring.
If at some point in the future, Robert, you do feel that full accountability and responsibility has been taken, do you think you'll then be able to kind of, again, it's not the right term really, but move on?
We'll never be able to move on. You know, Abigail will always be in our lives. There is no moving on. It's just a new way of living for us now. Our lives have been immeasurably changed, and yeah, she'll always be part of our family. So yeah, there's no getting over it as such.
Is there anger in there, Katie?
Yeah, definitely. I think the anger for me comes from knowing that there's so many other families in Sussex that have also been let down in the same way. And also across the country, we know that maternity is a huge problem. It's not being run effectively. It's been known for years, and yet we're still in this position where babies are dying avoidably. And it does make me really angry.
Has it helped speaking to other families who've been through this, Robert?
Yeah, the trust always told us it was rare, that they didn't know, you know, what they could have done differently. And then when you speak to other families, you find out they've been told exactly the same thing, and that there were very, very similar circumstances to a lot of our cases. So, you know, to us, it's not rare. It's difficult to. It's difficult to sort of put into words the pain that brings. Yeah,
completely understand. Well, thank you so much for talking to us this morning. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Katie Fowler and Robert Miller there, whose daughter Abigail died in January 2022. Responding to this BBC investigation, the Chief Executive of UHS, that's University Hospital Sussex, Dr Andy Heaps, has said, "I want to say directly, we do not always get this right. As Chief Executive, I take the responsibility for that, and I'm deeply sorry for the pain and distress that you experienced." He added that he hopes the maternity investigation into his trust will help answer these families' questions and drive further improvements. And the Department of Health say they are actively working with families in Sussex to appoint a chair. Katie and Robert wanted it to be Donna Ockenden, and agree terms of reference for this vital review.